try to be as brief as possible because I know, we're pressed for time. But it really comes down to, I said this, and everyone's asking who takes blame for what happened. Everyone takes blame. Everyone is being held accountable. And I'm not going to sit here and point fingers at Kyrie or Brad Stevens or Gordon Hayward or Danny Ainge. Everyone gets the blame. And my mindset every single year, and you may call me delusional, I'm always in the mindset we have to win championships. If it's championship or bust. This year was embarrassing. Point blank period. As a Celtic fan, I'm truly embarrassed by what I witnessed. All season long, I've been saying they're going to get it together. I've been hopeful, maybe a little bit too delusional and a little bit too faithful to think to myself that they were going to turn it around because they were so inconsistent. But I said, you know what? Come playoff time, Kyrie's proven he's an NBA champion. He's been in the clutch moments. He was going to turn it around. That did not happen. And it starts at the top. You start with management. Does Whit Grossbeck get the blame? No, because he's the Celtic owner. He doesn't because he trusts in Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge, to me, is on the hot seat, number one. And I hope he has a speedy recovery because he did suffer a mild heart attack. Aside from that, if we're going to assess his position, and again, I'm not trying to sit here and stomp on someone who just had a heart attack's position, but if we're going to evaluate his career, he's failed. And Celtic fans and fans are going to think, oh, well, Danny's done his best job as he can. The Celtics haven't won a championship since 2008. They haven't made the finals since 2009. So let's look at it as it is what it is. And facts are facts. The only reason why the Celtics won a championship in 2008 was because of what? Kevin Garnett got traded from the Timberwolves to the Celtics because their GM at the time was Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale is a former teammate of Danny Ainge. And why else wouldn't he trade him to the Celtics? What have the Celtics done since then? As far as, yes, they've been competitive in the Eastern Conference, but they haven't made it back there. They get rid of Paul Pierce, they bring in Brad Stevens, and, we've been this close. Close doesn't count for me. And I'm sorry if that's the level of expectation for me as a fan. I want to win championships. I want to go to a parade. I want to celebrate and win championships. So from that aspect, Danny hasn't done that job that's got the Celtics there. Did he believe that Kyrie was the guy? Did he make a good trade? And, of course, who doesn't want to trade for Kyrie? Clearly it didn't work. So Danny takes in form of responsibility in, getting better talent. And it's hard because people don't want to play for Boston. I completely understand that. But at the same time, your job is to put together a team that's going to make it to the finals. Was LeBron James in the way of that? Yes, he was in the way of the Eastern Conference. But this year just shows you what went wrong. You signed Gordon Hayward, and we thought he was going to be the next savior. And that didn't work out because game one of his first entering into the game in 2000, going into the 2017-2018 season, he gets hurt. And then now trying to integrate him back into the offense of the team, they wanted to put him in the starting five lineup. They put him with Jaylen Brown. They put him with Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Kyrie Irving. It didn't work, so they had to bring him off the bench. Did they spend too much time trying to get him back in? And people argue that. Maybe they did. Maybe they should have just shut him down for the rest of the season and then try to get him back in. But what's the problem with shutting Gordon Hayward down? That's Brad Stevens' buddy. You get what I'm saying? So Brad Stevens coached him in college. They have that connection. That was going to be a problem. So there's your second problem. So, again, starts at the top, Danny Ainge. Then it trickles down to Brad Stevens for trying to get his favorite player or hit the player that he recruited to come play for Boston into the offense, and it just didn't work. It messed up the chemistry that the team had from last year. And you could clearly see that on the floor. Yes, Gordon Hayward showed some sprouts. It just didn't work. Now the other players. Kyrie Irving, you're definitely holding fully responsible because you wanted to leave LeBron. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to leave LeBron James. You wanted to have your own team. They gave you your own team. You went to the Celtics. It wasn't it wasn't preference, but you had young talent, and you failed. There's nothing else I can say about that. You basically failed. And you basically shot yourself out of the games, and you quit. There's nobody else that could dispute that he didn't quit. So all the other players, everyone's in the mindset of eating in terms of they have to eat. They're guys who are playing because they're playing for contracts. They want to star. Terry Rozier last year, he was starting, and now you have to reduce his role and having him come off the bench. He's not going to take that well, especially if his contract year is coming up. Marcus Morris is a free agent. His contract's coming up. So guys are not playing with each other. There was no chemistry all year, and I would be the first one to tell you they're going to get it, and they didn't. And it's really just a disappointing factor as a fan to sit here today, May 9th, and just sit here and just listen and just all the bashing that they're getting, it's well-deserved. There's no excuses that we can actually honestly sit here and make and say, well, this could have been done differently or this. And the one person that may get the blame more than everybody else is Kyrie Irving. The other people I blame us as the fans. And it's more of the level of expectation because going into the season, everyone believed you're receiving back 2 All-Stars, they're going to win. They're going to win the championship because how can they not without, last year they made it 1 game away from making it the championship without Kyrie and Gordon, and now putting them back in the offense, they were going to make it. So I take the blame as a fan because I believe, every year I believe that, but this year I really did believe that they had what it takes to make it to the finals because it was a clear, wide open, and clearly that didn't happen. And the other last point I'll make is the fact that I don't mind losing. I have no problem because I've seen the Celtics lose 60 games, I've seen them lose 50 games, I've seen them get eliminated in the first round, the second round, the third. I don't mind losing. But when you lose without effort, that's where you lose me. As a fan, it's very disappointing, it's heartbreaking, it's embarrassing, and I keep saying that word, it's very embarrassing when you play a game. I was watching Game 5 where the Bucks had 5 offensive rebounds in 1 play. Why does that happen? 5 offensive rebounds in 1 single play. It means you quit. And you quit since Game 3. You mean to tell me you tie the series, you get a split, you go back home and you lose 2? I'm done.